They threw me out like garbage. My own mother handed me scissors and watched as they tore my white dress apart, searching for a watch I never stole. I had $15, no phone, and nowhere to sleep. 3 days later, I bought a lottery ticket with my last $2, and you won't believe what happened next. My name is Abigail, and I was 28 when everything fell apart. After my father died when I was 10, my mother Patricia remarried Gregory and had my half-sister Vanessa, the golden child. I worked 2 jobs, handing my paychecks to the family account while living in the attic, believing we were building a future together. I was just being used. Everything changed the night Daniel Morrison came to dinner, Vanessa's billionaire boyfriend. I cooked a 5-course meal, while Vanessa wore a new red dress, and I wore my simple white cotton one. Daniel was kind and polite. He actually looked me in the eyes during dinner. He excused himself to use the upstairs bathroom near my room. 20 minutes later, chaos erupted. "My watch! It's gone!" Daniel said quietly. Everyone went silent. Gregory's voice cut through the air. "Abigail, you were upstairs." My heart pounded. "I didn't go near the bathroom," I insisted. My mother's face twisted with disgust. "Don't lie to us. You've always been jealous of your sister." Vanessa cried fake tears. "She's always hated me because I have a real father and she doesn't." I froze, realizing she'd done something. Daniel tried to calm things down, but Gregory dragged everyone upstairs to search my room. They tore apart everything, my clothes, drawers, bed, until my world was in pieces. When they found nothing, Gregory sneered, "She must have it on her. Strip search her." My stomach dropped. Mom slapped me. "Do as you're told, you ungrateful thief." Vanessa brought scissors. They cut my white dress apart while Daniel turned away, silent and ashamed. When it was over, they found nothing, but they still threw me out. "You have 10 minutes to pack and get out," Mom said coldly. They took my phone, my savings, even my dignity. I walked into the cold night with a torn cardigan, $15, and nowhere to go. Hours later, I sat under a streetlight, crying into my knees. People passed by. No one stopped. "Dad," I whispered into the dark, "I wish you were here." That's when a car pulled up. A tall man in a suit stepped out. "Excuse me," he said softly. "Are you all right?" His name was Christopher Hayes, a restaurant owner. I tried to brush him off, but he persisted gently. "You look like you need help. Please, at least let me get you something warm to eat. No strings attached." Something in his voice reminded me of my father, so I said yes. His restaurant, Hayes and Company, was closed for the night, but he brought me inside, gave me soup, tea, and a clean shirt. When I told him everything, every cruel word, every humiliation, he listened quietly, eyes dark with anger at what I'd endured. Finally, he said, "Abigail, I'll make you an offer. I need help in my kitchen. I'll pay you fairly, give you meals, and there's a small apartment upstairs. It's yours if you want it." I accepted, not knowing it was the start of a new life. The tiny apartment felt like heaven after the attic and sidewalk. Christopher's kindness felt unreal. His staff was welcoming, especially Julia, a cheerful waitress who became my first real friend. Slowly, I began to heal. Weeks later, Julia showed me the lottery numbers on TV. "Jackpot's up to $1.5 billion, she said. "Let's buy tickets." I laughed but agreed, using my last $2. We promised to split it if we ever won, knowing we wouldn't. Meanwhile, karma hit my family. Daniel broke up with Vanessa after finding his stolen watch under his car seat. He confronted her, and she confessed everything, that she'd hidden it to get attention, then blamed me. Daniel walked out, disgusted. When Vanessa confessed, Mom's first reaction wasn't guilt. It was fury. How could you lose him? He was our chance. They knew I was innocent but refused to reach out. "She'll be fine," Mom said. "We're not humiliating ourselves." They did nothing. 5 weeks later, I'd forgotten all about the ticket. Julia and I were closing the restaurant when the news replayed the winning numbers. One by one, they matched my ticket. Julia screamed. Christopher checked it twice. "Abigail," he whispered, pale, "you just won $1.5 billion. My knees gave out. I couldn't breathe. It felt like the universe finally saw me. The next morning, Christopher went with me to the lottery office. It was real. I took the lump sum, $850 million after taxes. Christopher introduced me to lawyers and financial advisors, and I set one rule: stay quiet. No press, no fame. Just peace. My first call was to Julia. "Remember our deal?" I said, smiling through tears. "You're getting $20 million, and we're opening more restaurants together." She screamed with joy. Christopher refused any money, but I helped him expand his business anyway, because real kindness deserves to grow. I bought a modest, beautiful home and started the Second Chances Foundation, helping abused women and homeless youth. Within 6 months, we'd changed over 200 lives. I was finally happy and healing fully. A year later, I received an invitation that made my hands shake. My half-sister Vanessa was getting married to Daniel Morrison. I almost laughed. He'd left her after discovering the truth. Now they were trying again? The invitation came from my mother with a note. "Abigail, please come. We've missed you. Let's put the past behind us." It was signed Mom, but I could tell Gregory had written it. Still, something inside me wanted closure. I wasn't that scared girl anymore. I was a woman who had rebuilt herself from ashes. I decided to go. The wedding was at a luxury hotel downtown. I arrived in a silver dress, simple yet elegant, and when I walked in, jaws dropped. My mother froze mid-sentence, her champagne glass trembling. Gregory turned pale. Vanessa blinked like she'd seen a ghost. "Abigail," she whispered. "Hi, sister," I said calmly. "Beautiful day for a wedding, isn't it?" Daniel approached slowly, stunned. "Abigail Reed?" "Yes," I said softly. "It's been a while." He looked genuinely emotional. "I wanted to find you to apologize. I didn't know what they'd done to you until weeks later. I'm so sorry." "It's okay," I told him. "You don't owe me anything. I'm happy now." Then my mother grabbed my arm. "You've changed," she hissed. "What are you doing here?" I smiled. "You invited me." Vanessa looked uncomfortable. "Abby, please, don't make a scene." "I won't," I said gently. "I just want to see the family who taught me what not to become." A silence fell over the room. Then I turned to Daniel. "You're marrying her?" He hesitated. "Yes, I forgave her. People make mistakes." I nodded. "Good for you. I hope you find peace." And then I handed Vanessa a small box. "A gift," I said. She opened it. Inside was a gold watch, identical to the one she'd accused me of stealing years ago. The tag inside read, "Forgiveness is the most expensive thing you'll ever give, because it costs your pain." Tears filled Vanessa's eyes. My mother's lips trembled, but she said nothing. I turned to leave, but Gregory called out, "Wait! Where have you been all this time?" I looked back, building a life that doesn't need your approval. As I walked away, Daniel followed me outside. "Abigail, I don't know if it means anything, but I admired you even back then. You had grace they'll never have." I smiled sadly. "It means more than you think. Take care of yourself, Daniel." Outside, my car waited, a sleek black Tesla. My driver opened the door, and as I got in, I saw my reflection in the glass. No anger, no bitterness, just peace. 3 months later, I received a letter from Vanessa. "Abby, you were right. Daniel left. Mom and Dad are divorcing. I'm working a bakery now, the one you donated to through your foundation. I didn't realize it was yours until last week. I'm sorry for everything. I hope someday you can forgive me." I wrote back, "I already did. May this be your second chance." 5 years later, my foundation grew across multiple cities. Christopher, my first friend and mentor, eventually became my husband. He'd been by my side since the night I was sitting under that streetlight. We didn't fall in love instantly. It grew quietly, like sunlight after storm. One evening, we returned to that same street corner. I stood there in the glow of the lamp, remembering the night I had nothing. Christopher slipped his arm around me. "You changed so many lives, Abby," he whispered. I smiled, including my own. He kissed my forehead. "What made you buy that lottery ticket?" I laugh softly. Faith. Or maybe desperation. Sometimes the universe needs us to lose everything to show us what truly matters. Today, when people ask about my success, I don't talk about the billions or the cars. I talk about the night I was thrown out in a torn dress. Because that night, I learned that worth doesn't come for what others give you. It comes for what you refuse to let them take away. And that's how a girl with $15 and a broken heart became the woman who built second chances, not just for others, but for herself. The end.